politician needs to look a certain way, dress a certain way, behave a certain way, talk a certain way, doesn't hold true anymore. Yeah, I'm very grateful to be in a party led by an 85-year young man who is more Gen Z than anybody else. Sab YouTube चला रहे हैं. I was in a rally in Karanja, but still in that audience more than 50% of the women Insta चला रही थी. The amount of effort it takes to get them to come to a rally is much higher. तो either आपने उन्हें पैसे दिए हैं या खाना खिलाया है, इसीलिए वो आ रहे हैं.
People are actually losing faith in democratic institutions also. ECI की बात कर लो.
हम होप कर रहे हैं कि पॉडकास्ट देखेंगे और कई
वरना हम रील डाल देंगे.
मुझे भी पता है कि आप सिर्फ रील देखोगे तो आप बड़े अच्छे रील काट दीजिएगा क्योंकि अदरवाइज पीपल डोंट कंज्यूम इट. ये पब्लिक है, सब जानती है. दे आर आल्सो नॉट वरीड. क्यों पुलिस से पिट रहे हो आज? हम लगा अच्छा वो कुत्तों के लिए आवाज उठा रहा था एंड देन लाइक अच्छा उसके लिए भी पिट रहे हो अभी.
बट एज समबडी हु इज अ पार्ट ऑफ अ क्यूर कम्युनिटी, मुझे जानना है कि हाउ inclusive is the world around you. मतलब जो छोटी छोटी चीजें होती है, it could be a restaurant, it could be shopping centers, it could be also dating apps.
You know, it's a very difficult sort of question, right? Because I think
Hello and welcome everybody on the Y-axis. Today we have one of the most chilled out, real, raw and normal politicians in India. Politicians को लेकर ना एक परसेप्शन बना हुआ है कि वो एक तरीके से बात करेंगे, इस तरीके से ड्रेस करेंगे, बैठेंगे इस तरीके से, and you're breaking those norms in a way which is very commendable.
यार आपको तो लगा था कि मैं ऑन्टराज के साथ आऊंगा, ये डर गए थे कि आपके साथ लोग क्यों नहीं आए. यही तो मोल्ड ब्रेक करना है. दिस इज व्हाट इज फन. आई मीन इफ यू वांट टू डू इट द सेम ओल्ड वे देन देयर इज नो फन इन इट. तो हम कपड़े भी थोड़े नेताजी जैसे पहन लेते हैं पर उसमें थोड़ा एक खुद का भी स्टाइल डाल देते हैं. सॉक्स भी हमारे मजेदार रहते हैं.
I really wish we could capture that.
But no, I think the reality is that for too long you've been told कि a politician needs to look a certain way, dress a certain way, behave a certain way, talk a certain way. Doesn't hold true anymore. 50% of this country is under the age of 28. So
you have to cater to them.
You have to cater to them and you have to change with the times. तो नेता अलग दिखने लगा और हमारी पार्टी हमें अलग दिखने देती है, तो हम ऐसे दिखते हैं, पहनते हैं कपड़े ऐसे, वो बोलते ऐसे ही हैं.
सही बात है, क्योंकि मेरे हिसाब से ना बहुत अलग सेपरेट भी रख देते हैं. अगर वो सेम एक ही ड्रेस में आप हो तो देन पीपल आर लाइक कि इनसे थोड़ा सा अलग इंटिमिडेट देते हैं. हाँ
एग्जैक्टली. और उसमें भी एक कला है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल यू कांट ड्रेस टू डिफरेंटली एवरी डे, क्योंकि नहीं तो आपको कोई पहचान नहीं पाएगा. इफ दे सी यू समवेयर एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा. So you have to be recognizable, but at the same time you also want to be different because you don't want to be intimidating. तो you know मेरा कभी कभी प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है, मुझे डांट भी पड़ती है कभी कभी कि मैं मेनली अंग्रेजी न्यूज़ चैनल पे जाता हूँ. More recently I've also started going on Hindi news channels. तो वन एंकर रिसेंटली वाज लाइक देखो आपका प्रोफेशनल ड्रेस नहीं है ये, आप थोड़े मतलब जैकेट पहन के आओ, लंबा कुर्ता पहन के आओ.
ऐसा बोला जाता है जो
टीवी पे नहीं बट आफ्टर द डिबेट शी वाज लाइक नो यू मस्ट ड्रेस अ लिटिल मोर प्रोफेशनली. एंड आई वाज लाइक यार ऐसे पहले किसी ने मुझे बोला नहीं, मैं तो अच्छे कपड़े पहन के आ रहा हूँ यार, मैं ऐसे नहीं मतलब.
डू दे से कि लोग आपको सीरियसली नहीं लेते?
एग्जैक्टली. And that sometimes becomes a problem to me because I'm like, I don't want to be taken seriously just because of how I look. Absolutely. In fact, I want to be more relatable to people who otherwise don't take politicians who dress that way seriously. क्योंकि वो देख कर ही ना, मैं भी अगर लंबा कुर्ता देख लूँ, किसी को नेहरू जैकेट पहनते हुए देख लूँ, तो ऑलरेडी आई एम लाइक अच्छा
ये वही बातें करेंगे.
मतलब आप मुझे कौन से पेड़ पे चढ़ाने वाले हो.
चला आ रहा है बहुत समय से.
Correct. So I think breaking that up is a fun way to begin.
Yes, but
100%.
like even in your political party NCP, you might be the youngest person there. तो ऐसे कोई Gen Z traits है जो आप लोगों को सिखा रहे हैं या फिर आपने retain कर रखा है कि भाई I can't get.
No. See, I'll tell you, I'm very grateful to be in a party led by an 85-year young man who is more Gen Z than anybody else. You know, Pawar Sahib has been far ahead of his times in all aspects. You know, he was the OG feminist because in one interview he said, when asked कि आपके पास एक बेटी है, आप और बच्चे नहीं try करने वाले हो for more kids, and he was like, क्यों? क्या मेरी एक बेटी किसी बेटे से कम है? And he stuck to that. He said, I'm going to have one kid, and if that kid is a girl, that's a girl. And he then went on to get women into the armed forces, and even now, you know, if you sit down with him, he talks about AI and agriculture, and you're like, यार मुझे तो ChatGPT जितना ही मालूम है, आपको तो ज़्यादा ही पता चल गया. He's updating himself more than we are updating himself.
Do you think that's consistent across parties, जहाँ पर younger लोगों का suggestion इतना welcome किया जा रहा है आजकल, या फिर it's very exclusive to?
I'm not one to comment about other parties, but I'll tell you this, right? I worked with Milind Deora. He was my first boss in politics as a door-to-door volunteer when I was in school. And I went knocking on...
You were in 12th standard?
In 12th standards, between my prelims and my boards. तो हम तो...
How were you managing it?
चल मार रहे थे, कह रहे थे कि अभी बोर्ड्स के लिए एक महीने के लिए पढ़ाई कौन करता है? एक महीने की छुट्टी आप किसी 17 साल के बच्चे को दो, तो एक महीने पढ़ाई तो नहीं करता. तो मैं और मेरा दोस्त राजनीति में बहुत इंटरेस्ट रखते थे, and we had this school play where he was Arnab Goswami and I was some general on Arnab Goswami's show for one of our Teachers' Day celebrations. We were putting on a skit for the teachers. And so when this opportunity was released to join Milind Deora's campaign as volunteers, we said, "Arey, chalo, great." Because one of the things we were doing is knocking on doors. The second thing we were doing is sitting in on all of these TV debates. So that's the first time I sat in on a Times Now debate in the audience. वो ताली बजाने वाले होते हैं ना, और फिर वो बरखा दत्त के साथ कैथीड्रल स्कूल में था, वहाँ भी हम तालियां बजा रहे थे, सवाल पूछ रहे थे सफाया कॉलेज में.
I think she used to run this We the People.
Exactly, she did We the People. Rajdeep used to do sort of face-off between candidates or between two politicians, which happened at Sophia. तो हम उसके लिए ऑडियंस में बैठे थे. तो we were great seat fillers. तो वहाँ से जब शुरुआत हुई, तब I was very, very interested to meet someone like Milind Deora. Of course, I didn't get to know him too well at that time. Who was very, very young in his approach to politics. Right? That he wanted young people on board. He wanted to create a system that was encouraging people who didn't come from political backgrounds or political families. I don't come from a political family, right? Nobody in my family is in politics. And often, if you don't come from a political background or political family, the first question is, where do you start? So he was very interested in giving you a place to start. अभी वहाँ 50 लोग 60 लोग थे, उसमें से हम 4 लोग हैं जो 2014 से आज तक हर कैंपेन पे मिलिंद की मदद करते हैं. So you know, that became a really, really fascinating way to...
You almost become a family.
You do. And in politics, that trust is very important. And when you're given that trust, I remember he asked me to come back and run his campaign in 2018. And I said, I'm very out in New York City. What do you mean? And he said, so. And I said, acha, chalo, so. And I came back, and it was quite amazing to see that your opinion was valued very seriously.
What kind of evolved mindset do you need as a politician? As you said that he has a very young mind.
I don't think you need an evolved mindset. You need to just be responsive to the times, right? You have to understand that politics is changing and that the world as we know is changing, right? So I remember 2014 was the first time that we used Twitter for someone like Milind and kept him up to date. We did one of the first few Twitter Q&As, like AMA, Ask Me Anything.
Oh, yes, yes.
2019, we did a huge focus on Instagram. We did a huge focus on YouTube. We did a huge focus. We did a Reddit Ask Me Anything as well. And so, you know, we were up to date. And in a constituency like South Mumbai that's very diverse, it's very important to have these new ideas come in, otherwise you look stale. So in some ways, it managed to keep him relevant. I mean, whether you win an election or not is beyond your control, quite honestly. In a country the size of India, you can't know whether you'll win an election or not. But whether or not you remain politically relevant despite losing an election depends upon how well you capitalize upon the opportunity to fight an election. And so I was very proud to be on both of those campaigns and really play an important role in shaping that party policy and to also shape an individual election campaign. And it came not from a evolved mindset, but from a recognition of the realities on the ground. That you will fade into irrelevance if you don't keep up with the times. And you can't keep up with the times on your own, right? He's young, but he's still in his 40s. So he's not going to bring that energy to the table that someone younger can.
I do understand about the social media campaigns and catering to a lot of audience around, but you know, I've been to Gadchiroli, I've been to places Vidarbha and these places, you know, where these people are very, they are not aligning with the social media and everything, but they also need kind of, you know, they need medical services and everything, because I went over there. These are like, you know, they're living in primitive style.
So I'll tell you this, I think that is changing very quickly as well, right? 5 years ago, when I was on the Janasangharsha Yatra with the Congress party, we were across the state from Pathadi to Ichalkaranji to Wardha, Yavatmal as well. And Yavatmal Ashram district in particular, Gadchiroli is the district right adjoining it, is one that I've spent time in both with the Janasangharsha Yatra and this one. In 5 years, in just 5 years, I've noticed a significant difference in two things. One, in the number of women coming out for political rallies, for being involved in political conversations, for sort of having political opinions of their own. And the second is the number of people who are not from socioeconomically privileged backgrounds still using their phone. Sab YouTube चला रहे हैं. I was in a rally in Karanja, and it was mostly middle-aged women. And Karanja is one of the more sort of economically deprived parts of Maharashtra because it's in Yavatmal Washim district. It's had a problem with drought. It's had a problem with the soybean sort of pricing crisis and the sort of repercussions of it on agriculture. It's not received the amount of attention it requires over the past few decades. And so it's not a well-off area, right? But still, in that audience, more than 50% of the women Insta chala rahi thi. And I asked that question specifically, कि आप क्या करते हो? Because the problem has become today that people are disillusioned with politics.
Yes.
So the amount of effort it takes to get them to come to a rally is much higher. और अगर वो आएंगे भी तो either आपने उन्हें पैसे दिए हैं या खाना खिलाया है इसीलिए वो आ रहे हैं, या फिर they are coming for a big leader, right? So when Pawar Sahib goes, you don't need to pay for a crowd. In fact, you need to find ways to reduce the crowd because you can't accommodate those many people. You know, I still remember when we were in Western Maharashtra, when Pawar Sahib was coming, I mean, the crowds were overflowing, right? You couldn't stop them. Similarly, when a Rahul Gandhi is coming or even a Prime Minister Modi is coming, right? Those are crowd pullers that will pull the huge crowds. But otherwise, if you're an ordinary candidate and you're doing 20, 30, 40, 60 rallies over the course of your sort of election period, very hard for you to start getting people out there. So social media has not become something that is only for younger generations. It's become something that you need to use to get your message across to everybody. And of course WhatsApp groups पे अब लोग देख रहे हैं, पर वो भी अभी फटीग सेट इन हो गया लोगों में कि व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे जो आता है आपको पता है कि आपके वो चाचा मामा क्या भेजने वाले हैं और उनका ओपिनियन क्या होने वाला है और व्हाट्सएप यूनिवर्सिटी को आपको क्या बताने वाले हैं, तो वहाँ भी लोग थोड़ा थक गए. So you're seeing social media emerge. Earlier it was, you're right, you know, 2014 and 19, 100% it was for the youth, it was to do something different. Now it's a distribution medium. People aren't watching TV anymore. People are not reading the newspaper anymore.
Why are they not watching the TV? Why are they not watching the prime time?
I'll tell you why, right? One, it's expensive. आपको जियो का अनलिमिटेड इंटरनेट का कनेक्शन 399 में मिलता है, हायर सॉर्ट ऑफ डेटा यूजेज वाला भी. आपको टीवी का कनेक्शन आज महंगा पड़ जाता है क्योंकि इट्स मूव टू DTH, डायरेक्ट टू होम, सैटेलाइट टीवी, केबल टीवी इज बीइंग withdrawn in large parts of the country. मुंबई में almost non-existent now cable TV. आपको टाटा स्काई लगाना पड़ता है या एयरटेल लगाना पड़ता है या कोई और लगाना पड़ता है. The cost per channel is fairly high if you're subscribing to some news channels in particular, and the convenience is not there.
That is the primary, I think, reason.
तो आप देखो आज देश की जनता क्या काम कर रही है. स्विगी डिलीवरी पार्टनर बन रही है, उबर ड्राइवर बन रही है, जोमेटो डिलीवरी पार्टनर बन रही है, अर्बन कंपनी में कारपेंटर प्लम्बर बन रही है. उनके पास गिग इकोनॉमी में टीवी देखने का समय कहाँ है? Earlier you had a 9 to 5 job, you came back home, you were sitting in front of the TV, you could watch. Today most people, including young people, right, working freelance in any industry, in media, in fashion, in the startup space, don't have a fixed schedule. And it's something that we're going to have to face very seriously as a society, because all of the previous assumptions we had about how people spend their free time, about how certain facilities need to be open, has changed completely. Because of this, your sort of 9 to 5 schedule doesn't operate anymore. And so this morning, I arrived in Mumbai and I was taking the metro and I landed at 7:45 and they told me, "नहीं metro sir 8:30 बजे खुलेगा." And I was like, 8:30 बजे कौन खोलता है metro? भाई मुझे घर जाना हो तो मैं कैसे जाऊँ? And I had to take a cab. The coastal road only recently was open to the public 24/7. Because the government has realized, I mean, these things are things that other cities have realized long ago, right? The New York subway, as terrible as it is, it runs 24/7. Because in the modern day and age, we're all leading very sort of disjointed lives. Somebody is working 9 to 5, somebody else is working 2 p.m. to 10 p.m, somebody else is working on US time क्योंकि उनका client US में है, वो पूरी रात जाग रहे हैं. So look at the number of cloud kitchens and ghost kitchens that have come up. आज रात को 4 बजे आपको मुंबई में 15, 20, 40 ऑप्शंस मिलेंगे खाना मंगाने के लिए. I remember there was a time in Mumbai, रात को 2-3 बजे आपको सिर्फ ज़ाफ़रान बिरयानी मिलती थी और वो खाने के बाद बटर चिकन या बिरयानी आप खाते थे. Next day you would be sick. Right, but you would still need food at that hour, so you would eat it. But there was nothing else. Today आप रैप बोलो, रोल बोलो, बर्गर बोलो, कुछ भी बोलो, आपको 4 बजे भी मिल जाएगा. So clearly cities are adapting, right? So the news has to adapt as well, because people are watching the news on YouTube. So prime time people are watching, but not at prime time.
Yeah, it's on the phone.
It's on the phone. तो मैं प्राइम टाइम पे जाता हूँ, उसकी रील बनाता हूँ, उसको लोग देखते हैं, टीवी को नहीं देखते.
Very true. Content change नहीं हुआ है, medium.
Exactly. So the debates are still important, but attention spans are lower. So people, हम होप कर रहे हैं कि पॉडकास्ट देखेंगे और कई
वरना हम रील डाल देंगे.
मुझे भी पता है कि आप सिर्फ रील देखोगे तो आप बड़े अच्छे रील काट दीजिएगा क्योंकि otherwise people don't consume it.
Yeah.
Attention spans are so low, and that's a challenge in politics also.
2 seconds.
So this is again keeping up with the times. I notice that Supriya does this very, very often, and Pawar Sahib also, and now the whole party has followed it. Ki any political meeting you have will always have lots of satkars. पहले अच्छा ये लीडर को हार दे दो, शॉल दे दो, नारल दे दो, उनका मतलब उनकी तारीफ कर लो, and it's for like 30 people on stage, और सबके लिए एक बुके. And now the party is like, no, कोई सत्कार नहीं, start. क्योंकि लोगों के पास टाइम नहीं है.
वो फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड से बाहर है, उससे पहले निपटा लो काम.
लोग बैठेंगे नहीं, निकलने लगेंगे. ये पब्लिक है, सब जानती है. They are also not worried. The rally now has to start on time. There used to be a time when public 2-2, 3-3, 4-4 घंटे वो
बैठती थी, वेट करती थी पूरा.
अभी बोलेंगे 4 बजे आपने आने को बोला है, मैं 6 बजे तक निकल रहा हूँ. So that is the reality today. So the medium is changing, the format is changing, the way in which you engage with people is changing, and you have to really like innovate. I mean, I'm not a social media person at all.
You're not?
I'm the worst at social media, but apparently that's very good now, because I cut all of my own videos. I do it on VN.
Oh yeah.
And so हाँ चलो VN, मैं VN में मतलब गाड़ी में बैठ के from the studio, it's become very easy, and apparently people like it when it doesn't look too professional or polished or.
It's more
Anish,
raw.
I am not able to agree to the fact that you don't have a social media team.
I don't have any social media team. मैं कहाँ से लाऊँ social media team? See, my principle is I will not hire somebody without paying them.
Yeah.
और अभी ऑपोजिशन में है तो पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं तो क्या करें?
तो कहीं से तो आता होगा ऑपोजिशन के पास. It's just not possible.
No, you work on your own. So I consult with a PR firm in London and make a lot of my money. I curate art shows, make a lot of my money that way. But I take not a rupee from the party, because if I take money from the party, then I can't expect my karyakarta to not take money from the party.
Everybody will be
Oh
trained to
God.
do that.
तो politicians को भी freelance काम करना पड़ता है इधर उधर.
हाँ, क्योंकि नहीं तो आप नहीं कर पाओगे. और देखो, in some ways it's a good thing. Because why are you in politics?
Yeah, you have
That's a
to
social
If you're in
service,
it
huh?
for the money, if you're in it for the money, then you're in it for the wrong reasons. If you're in it because you're truly passionate about it, then that's why you should stay in politics. Because the reality is, if you could make money through politics, the amount of effort it would take to make money through politics would be far more than the amount of effort required to make money through some other profession. तुम्हें पैसे कमाने हैं ना, तुम स्टॉक्स खरीदो बेचो यार, तुम्हें पैसे ही कमाने हैं ना. तो
politics वगैरह
एग्जैक्टली, राजनीति में इतनी मेहनत क्यों कर रहे हो आप? नहीं कमाओगे आप पैसे. आप 10 साल बाद, I see so many people, you know, and I feel bad because, and this is precisely where this mentality is important to sort of change. A lot of people think, अच्छा I'll make easy money through politics, I'll like do corruption, I'll get a bribe, I'll get this. I'm like, उधर तक पहुंचने में तुम्हें जितना वक्त लगेगा और तुम्हें जितना पैसा खर्च करना पड़ेगा, उससे अच्छा आप कहीं और काम कर रहे होते, पीएफ में पैसे डालते, तो आपके रिटायरमेंट में आपके पास पैसे होते फंड में. So politics, you can't make money. So if you think that you will be able to eventually make money through politics, you're going to sort of be a very, very dejected 40-odd-year-old who's going to realize that the best years of my life are gone. I've not been able to make any money, and I've not been able to sort of find an alternative profession either. So this was before I even joined the party and made the decision to officially join a party, which was only last year. For 10 years I worked in politics without officially joining politics. क्योंकि मैंने कहा कि पैसे कहाँ से कमाऊँ भाई, मैं ये करूँगा तो until I have my bread and butter set, I'm not joining politics. And before joining politics, I only spoke to one person. And funnily enough, I didn't know her that well at all. We'd only met a few times, but socially and spoken a few times over WhatsApp, was Barkha Dutt.
Oh.
And I messaged Barkha being like, Barkha, sorry for messaging out of the blue. I really need your advice. When can we meet? She's like, okay, come to my office on this day at this time. And मैं वहाँ पे गया और मैंने कहा, अच्छा ये national spokesperson का role है. I think I'd want to sort of pitch myself for it. Should I join politics? This party, that party. Firstly, she just looked at me confused and was like, तुम मुझे क्यों पूछ रही? And I said, because you've been on the other side.
Yes.
And you've seen so many politicians and their trajectories. And then she was like, acha. And then gave me very good advice, which was ki, this cannot be your only identity. You have to also have something else that you're bringing to the table. So if you see any good politician today, will always have a core competence that politics can't take away from them. कल आप शशि थरूर को मंत्री मत बनाओ, एमएलए मत बनाओ, एमपी मत बनाओ, चीफ मिनिस्टर मत बनाओ. He will still be one of the smartest minds on foreign policy in this country, if not the
hands
world.
down.
So he has still got his core competence that he will be valued for. You know, someone like a Milind Devra on business and on finance, even for the 10 years that he was not in power, was an important voice. Every year, on the day of the budget being announced, he would be asked for his opinion, right? So he was important. He's also always asked for his opinion on the blues and jazz and rock and roll because he's very into music, and even today, you know, he'll know his music better than anybody else. Someone like a Supriya Tai would know about urban issues and urban governance and policy, you know. Tomorrow, she didn't win her Lok Sabha seat, she didn't get to parliament, she would still be considered as one of India's leading voices on public policy and how to analyze a bill. I mean, I've never seen somebody sort of go through a bill so quickly and come up with razor sharp points of like differences, debate, discussion, and say this is where it can be improved, these are the good points, this is where I have questions. So these are core sets of skills that you have to build, and you have to have an identity distinct from politics for yourself.
So oppositions भी help लेते हैं ये
इस चीज में.
चीजों की.
किसकी?
I mean these expertise.
100%.
Do they take
100%. That's why you're put in a certain place, ना? क्योंकि मैं बड़बड़ कर पाता हूँ, इसीलिए मुझे यहाँ बिठाया गया है. वो बड़बड़ हम पहले भी कर रहे थे, पिंकलिस्ट के साथ भी बड़बड़ कर रहे थे, रिसर्च का काम पिंकलिस्ट के साथ भी कर रहे थे, एकेडेमिया में भी कर रहे थे।
पिंकलिस्ट के बारे में आई वांट टू नो कि व्हाट वाज दैट ब्रेव डिसीजन लाइक जब 2019 मिड इलेक्शन
Exactly, mid-election.
नहीं, हम पागल थे। तो यू नो यू मेक वेरी सेंसलेस डिसीजंस व्हेन यू आर यंग, यू नो। वो जो जवानी का जोश होता है ना, दैट रेयरली गेट्स रेप्लिकेटेड आफ्टर, एंड आई थिंक द रियलिटी इज दैट I was 22 years old. I had come back to India. I had run this Jana Sangharsh Yatra with the Maharashtra Congress. I was now running Milind Devara's campaign for South Mumbai. I was working closely with my very dear friend Smriti, another friend Devina. And I was very eager to figure out what the future of queerness in politics looks like. And I was a little overconfident because of my own sort of ability to navigate it, and I said, यार मैं अगर ये कर पा रहा हूँ तो कोई और भी कर पाएगा, और उसको पता होना चाहिए कि you should not leave this hope of becoming a politician if you are gay. And so I said, चलो let's find out how many candidates are supporting LGBTQ plus rights. We know who's opposing. डंडे मारने के लिए तो हम हमेशा तैयार रहते हैं, पर लड्डू देने के लिए पता तो होना चाहिए लड्डू देने किसको है. So let's find out who to give these laddus to, and we created a list, and it was sort of three of us googling things. That was in the Lok Sabha after, but initially we had around 50 candidates, and who we found in constituencies and got all of this data. And
how did you decide yes or no? I mean,
public statements, entirely public statements. They made
so there were conversations still happening.
Correct. So this was, you know, for example, section 377 ka verdict aane ke baad, who supported it, who didn't support it, things like that. And we came up with this list, and then Smriti was like, I was like, chalo PDF banate hain iska aur kahin aur dalte hain. And she's like, Instagram. And it went viral. It had a cool design language with those squares that classified people, and it really just took off in a way that I'd never assumed. And then it went viral in a way that got lots of publicity. So there was one point at which एक Times of India के journalist ने मुझे phone कर दिया था और कहा था अच्छा ये interview दे दो, and to Shobha Day's column. And Shobha has now become a very dear friend of mine. But I told her कि तुम्हारे वजह से पूरी देश को पता चला कि I am out, because nobody is reading the newspaper, they're all reading your column. So that became the big coming out moment. And after that, there was no going back. So honestly, in that moment, I don't think I really realized what I was doing. Because tab tak I was out to friends, I was out to family, but I was not really out publicly. Right? If you search my name with Pinklist, 2019.
When did you come out?
2019.
Yeah, from everywhere. Like they were like, oh wow, okay, we didn't know this, because I was, and I still am very private about my private life. You know, like it's a lot of the public facing work is very easily accessible, but everything else I am fairly private. And so they were all like, acha, we didn't know, congratulations, this is so amazing, so much love pouring in. And after that, there was no going back.
Did you suffer some backlash also?
Yeah, specifically from someone that you think would be very accepting of it, but was not.
I'd been working in Kashmir for a very long time, and I'd run the Dara Shikoh Fellowship in Kashmir. My biggest worry was that because it's a fairly conservative state, there would be a lot of backlash there from people I'd worked with and collaborated with. None of it. They were the ones commenting on my Facebook post at that time, being like, so proud of you and congratulations. From family and friends, there was always a lot of love and support. My family's been very accepting and encouraging, so I'm very grateful for that. It's a big, big advantage, and it's a privilege, right? And I think I'm very grateful that I have like the support of family as I'm embarking upon all of these adventures, because otherwise it's very difficult to do it on your own without somebody saying they have your back.
I mean, this kind of thought would just scare to death for a lot of people.
I think my family's given up on me on the scared bit. They just sort of अभी पिछले 2 दिन
This person
पहले
is
they were like,
fearless.
अच्छा क्यों पुलिस से पिट रहे हो आज? And I'm like, अच्छा वो कुत्तों के लिए आवाज उठा रहा था. And they're like, अच्छा उसके लिए भी पिट रहे हो अभी? And they're like, अच्छा CA NRC के लिए भी पिट रहे हो? ये प्राइड परेड में भी पिट रहे हो? ये कुत्तों के लिए भी पिट रहे हो? क्या कर रहे हो? सर अभी पिट रहे हैं तो पिट रहे हैं. हमारा काम कर रहे हैं, पुलिस उनका काम कर रही है.
बट अब
my
टीवी पे
God.
चलता क्या है घर में? बरखा देती अर्नब.
You know, that's the funny part. You know, Barkha unfortunately is not on TV anymore. But my father watches all of Mojo's content. और Arnab has been very gracious and grateful to me. तो अभी सब चलते हैं.
अच्छा.
अभी राजनीति में हमने सीख लिया है कि हमें सबकी आवाज सुनना जरूरी है.
How is Arnab gracious
मतलब
to you?
how-
This is something.
He's been very kind. I think
आपका कॉन्वर्सेशन क्या होता है उनके साथ?
वो जरा आपने अगर रिपब्लिक टीवी देखा होता तो कॉन्वर्सेशन ज्यादा होता नहीं है पर you know there was the first time I went on his show I think he took my name like 8 times and I made a little reel that was one of the first things I created which was like Anish and he was like nah I guess the nation knows my name but he will acknowledge a good point when it's made. He's a remarkably intelligent anchor although I will say he is someone who comes with his own opinions to the table and has a very strong opinion on most issues. Now you can call it politically biased, you can call it something that's his own opinion, but he has a very strong opinion, right? But he's incredibly astute. He knows what questions to ask to whom to catch you on the spot. And of course there's that bit of yelling and shouting and theatrics and drama, but that's now part of reality TV, which has become primetime television. But beyond that, I think it's quite amazing that he manages to sort of pierce through any argument you make with precision, which makes creating a counter argument that much more fun.
Oh.
And that's when you can really spin things on the table. And if you can win it in a debate with an anchor who is that intelligent, then that's a true test of your own skill.
But ये paid होता है या नहीं यार? This is a question we
Because journalism I think has gone, many people believe it has taken a dip.
आप पत्रकारिता सीख रहे थे अभी
नहीं पर आपने भी 6 साल सिखाई है.
आपने भी सिखाई है इसलिए
हमने कहाँ सिखाई है, हम सिखाते नहीं है, हम तो शिष्य हैं, हम बस सीखते रहते हैं. I only go on TV. I was a lapsed journalist. I used to be a journalist with CNN. I used to work at the Hong Kong bureau for CNN for a little bit. और फिर हमने पत्रकारिता छोड़ दी because I said हमसे ना हो पाएगा.
No, I was talking to Princey and I told her कि यार isn't he too young to do everything? ये भी कर लिया है, ये भी कर
You're
लिया.
all over the place.
I am all over the place. But I am easily excited by things and I'm like अच्छा चलो ये आज करते हैं. Which is why politics is a great profession. You get to do something new every day. The other day I was in Delhi at a Rasabali festival, which is a sweet dish from Odisha. And there was a full festival for this dessert, which has been given a GI tag at the Jagannath Temple in Hauz Khas in Delhi. And I was a guest of honor. And I was like, अच्छा मैं महाराष्ट्र से हूँ, NCP SP से हूँ, मैं ओडिशा गया था 20 साल पहले चिल्का लेक देखने और पूरी के मंदिर जाने. But I was a guest of honor there, so you get to do this exciting thing. Then the other day somebody's calling me up कि हमारे हॉस्टल की रूम बदलनी है, वो डीन सुन नहीं रहे हैं, तो उसके लिए खत लिखा जा रहा है, किसी का घर लाइक डिस्पोजेस किया गया है और उनको घर से बाहर फेंका जा रहा है, उसके लिए किसी बैंक को फ़ोन हो जा रहा है. So politics keeps it interesting and fun. But to answer your question on journalism being paid, there is a crisis in Indian journalism. There are many others in my own party and my own colleagues who use terms like Godi media in other parties as well, Biki Hui media, paid media. I'm a little skeptical of being that dismissive of mainstream media as a whole. You know, mainstream media serves a certain purpose. Is it biased? Of course it is. Is that bias coming from only a greed for money? Perhaps not. It's also coming from very real political pressures, right? Today the government has made its intent very clear. Anyone who speaks up against the government will be silenced. And if you're in a position of privilege, sure, you can be silenced and you can do something else with your life and lead a comfortable existence. But so many journalists I know have fought tooth and nail to be where they are today. And in their prime, as anchors, if they don't toe a certain line, they'll be fired from their own channel. Two, it's not like there are some other channels that they can go to that are not biased or that are not under the same level of pressure from the government. So what are you supposed to do? The smartest ones out of all of them will toe the line they know they have to, while still allowing an alternative viewpoint to exist. And there's a lot of them on TV, right? Madhav GK at times now, brilliant anchor, you know. Someone like Preeti at India Today, incredible anchor. Gargi, Vasudha Venugopal at NDTV, Shiv Arur on NDTV. I mean, people have lots of differences about him, and currently has a criminal case going against him filed by Pawan Kheraji of the Congress Party, who I've become friends with very recently. But he's a good journalist in my opinion. You know, Maria Shakil at NTV is a good journalist, right?
And one needs to understand, to be able to broadcast across the country, it's such an expensive job.
Agreed.
A media production takes up a lot of...
Also, they're not going to make money elsewhere. If they go freelance, none of us are willing to pay for journalism.
Crowdfunding तो कुछ चलता ही
कोई नहीं पैसे भरता. बेचारे हमारे दोस्त स्क्रॉल चलाते हैं, वायर चलाते हैं, कोई पैसे नहीं देता. न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री चलाते हैं, कोई पैसे नहीं देता. तो इंडिपेंडेंट मीडिया को आपको सपोर्ट नहीं करता है, और फिर जो मीडिया है जिसके लिए फंडिंग कहीं और से आ रही है, उसको आपको बायस्ड और गोडी बुलाना है. So you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Absolutely.
But how do we understand the dichotomy of whatever is happening today? You have been to Kashmir and you know it, like you spend 1 month or so there for your fellowship and everything which happens. So right now there is this Chinar festival which will be organized in Kashmir, and NBT is organizing it. Magar, there are 25 books which are banned.
देखो, मैंने तो कह दिया था कि the best reading list you can have currently is the list of banned books by the government in Jammu and Kashmir.
बाहर जाओ इंडिया के, पढ़ो उन्हें.
नहीं, वो सिर्फ जम्मू कश्मीर में बैंड है, यहाँ पे आके पढ़ो. ये बुक बैनिंग की परंपरा जो है, इसके खिलाफ मैं हमेशा रहा हूँ और हमेशा रहूँगा. This book banning business needs to end. Regardless of which party is in power, regardless of what ideology is in power, unfortunately today the government in power does more harm than good. They are scared of any opinion that will encourage people to think freely. And that is my problem. I don't have a problem with you espousing your ideology. I read Savarkar in Marathi and in English, right? And his works on poetry are valuable, are relevant. I would not ban Savarkar if the government changed tomorrow, right? At the same time, I cannot condone this government banning others and silencing thousands of voices across the country, right? Just because they think कि आपको ये पढ़ना नहीं चाहिए, देखना नहीं चाहिए, आपको ये लिखना नहीं चाहिए. So, in such a circumstance, the intent is what matters, right? I have nothing against the Chinar festival, but in good conscience, I cannot participate in it. Because on one hand, you cannot have a literature festival while you're banning books on the other hand. Right?
Yeah.
Right? So there has to be an honesty of intent. It can't go hand in hand.
Ethically wrong.
और आपको करना आप करो यार. आप please, anyone who wants to go should go for it. I'm not supporting कि उसको बंद ही करना चाहिए. आप करो. लोगों को पता चलेगा वहाँ पे पहुँच के कि do you actually support the arts or not. People should find out for themselves. I'm a very big believer कि ये पब्लिक है, ये सब जानती है.
बट पता है एक प्रॉब्लम है इस चीज़ में, मतलब जैसे हम लोग जर्नलिज्म पढ़कर आए हैं, तो वी हैड लाइक अ बैच ऑफ 60 पीपल हु आर वेरी पॉलिटिकली इंक्लाइंड, दे हैड ओपिनियंस, दे न्यू थिंग्स. बट अगर मैं उसके बाहर वाले स्पेक्ट्रम में लोगों से बात करती हूँ, जेनजी, और मैं क्लब नहीं करना चाहूँगी, बट पीपल ऑफ आवर एज हैव बिकम अ लिटिल एपॉलिटिकल. दे वांट टू जस्ट, डू यू सेंस
It goes through waves. I'll tell you, it goes through waves. You know, for so long it was not your concern. You were apolitical क्योंकि आपके पैर पे कोई कुल्हाड़ नहीं मार रहा था.
It's not directly coming to you.
Look at everyone trying to find a job today. How long are they going to be apolitical? Look at everybody stuck on the monorail today. How long are they going to be apolitical? Look at anybody who cares about dogs today, who is seeing that they want to do like crazy schemes like shifting every single stray dog to a shelter. How long are they going to be apolitical today? Look at people who have to commute in the Mumbai local and have to lose their lives sitting on a footboard or having their heads chopped off by a pole because they were pushed. How long are their families going to be apolitical? You know, so things change slowly. These things don't change very quickly. But I'll tell you this, Gen Z is more political than it ever has been. Because for so long you were expecting Gen Z to consume political content that was not made for Gen Z, right? Like who was going to watch this on like TV channels? Now you see Ranting Gola on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
You know, you see Dhruv Rathi on Instagram or YouTube. You see all of these people creating a lot of
It's
political
like they're
content.
speaking to you.
And who's engaging with it? Gen Z.
But I think she's not only talking about politics. People are actually losing faith in democratic institutions also. ECI की बात कर लो. Like
देखो प्रॉब्लम क्या हो गया ना, आज सरकार सबको बोलती है कि आपकी जिम्मेदारी है सभी चीजों को फिक्स करना. स्ट्रे डॉग प्रॉब्लम ऑन द स्ट्रीट्स, व्हाई डोंट यू अडॉप्ट अ स्ट्रे डॉग? तो एमसीडी क्या कर रही है? सो रही है. सरकार ने क्या करना चाहिए? पत्ते खेलने चाहिए. The MCD's job to take care of stray dogs. Why should individuals care about stray dogs and take them into their homes? People are feeding stray dogs on the street because you allowed them to multiply at this level. Otherwise, those dogs would be rabid and running around without food, and it would be cruel. So you're fixing a problem and putting a band-aid on it, but the surgery has to be performed by the government. Monorail का problem आ गया recently. सरकार कह रही है no, it's not our problem. The Congress government built this, but you've been maintaining it for 11 years. 11 साल आप क्या सो रहे थे? अगर नहीं है अच्छा प्रोजेक्ट तो बंद कर दो. फिर बोल रहे थे कि overcrowding, people should have known better. You can call police to disperse protesters whenever they overcrowd a public place. You can't call people to stop overcrowding of the monorail when you know it's going to stop functioning. So accountability on the government's part has ended completely. रास्ते पे खड्डा है, नहीं हमारी जिम्मेदारी नहीं है. There's some sort of hike in the tariffs, हमारी जिम्मेदारी नहीं है. ट्रम्प ने टैरिफ बढ़ा दिया. भाई तुम्हारी फॉरेन मिनिस्ट्री क्या कर रही है? You're supposed to engage with another country and reduce tariffs. That's your basic job. That's why you've been elected. You can't just throw up your hand and say, अच्छा ये किसी और ने कर दिया, ये किसी और ने किया, फिर तो आप क्यों बैठे हो वहाँ पे? So this is purposeful. The reason people are feeling disenfranchised, disempowered, and disenchanted with politics is because we are being made to feel that way, because we are told there is no solution to this. But there is a solution. We do have a voice, right? We have to hold our municipal corporators accountable. We have to hold our MLAs accountable. We have to hold our MPs accountable. प्रधानमंत्री तो आगे की बात है. आप जिसको चुन रहे हो उसको पहले अकाउंटेबल रखो.
फिर बॉम्बे में तो अभी चुन ही नहीं पा रहे. बीएमसी इलेक्शन
वही
कब
प्रॉब्लम है.
आएंगे?
और आप देखो कितने लोग आवाज उठा रहे हैं.
और बदल रही है सरकार. आप जैसे वोट डालते हो वो तो है ही नहीं.
तो वही प्रॉब्लम है. You know, again on vote chori also, right? I think I am very, very careful about raising allegations about the functioning of an institution like the Election Commission of India.
Okay.
On something like vote chori, our principle, party's principle, and my own principle as well, has been very clear that we have faith in the Election Commission of India. It is a constitutional body. It must take all of these allegations seriously. Because even if a single Indian loses faith, आप अभी बोल रहे हो कि वोट चोरी हो रहे हैं. You losing faith is the problem. Me losing faith is not the problem. I'm an opposition party. It doesn't matter whether I have faith in the ECI or not. If I don't have faith in the ECI, I should stop contesting elections. But if you start losing faith in the Election Commission and you start losing faith in how elections are run, then democracy dies. The BJP doesn't die, the Congress doesn't die, NCP, SP doesn't die, democracy dies. And the protection of democracy is what the EC is entrusted with. And that's where they're failing. Because they have to convince you, they don't need to convince me. Rahul Gandhi doesn't need to sign an affidavit. Rahul Gandhi is irrelevant in this whole matter. The point is common citizens are asking questions and the EC must answer, right?
But the EC is not doing that.
It's not. And that's where we have a problem, right? Ki, you know, that's perfectly legitimate answer to say ki there have been discrepancies in voter rolls. Maybe they've been existing across voter lists, across periods of time, but we haven't been able to update them because updating them is a very costly exercise or it's a very strenuous exercise, and we actually don't think that this difference is large enough to warrant attention, or that we're trying measures to sort of curb these additions or deletions or double registrations. But the response that is coming from the EC, unfortunately, and from the government as well, is the creation of something like SIR. तो एक हाथ पे आप वोटर डाल रहे हो लिस्ट में जो आपके वोटर है, और दूसरे हाथ पे जो हमारे वोटर है आप निकाल रहे हो. So this is now getting to a level which is absurd.
But I'll tell you what the issue is. SIR, Bihar mein it is happening. Maharashtra has announced that we'll have it, but after the BMC election, which will happen around Diwali or something, right? But having an SIR after the election doesn't make sense.
No, in some ways it does, right? Because what are you supposed to do? And in many ways, this is also what has been requested of the Election Commission in Bihar, that right now having an SIR on such short notice is unwise, right? What needs to be checked within an activity like an SIR? One is how many duplicate entries there are in the voter list. If Rahul Gandhi can find out, if the PWPI Balram Patil in Panvel can find out, if the NCP SP in Anushakti Nagar can find out how many duplicate entries there are, then I'm sure the ECI has enough money and resources to be able to find out duplicate entries, right? And people who live in house number 0 or have exquisite last names like DDGGAFF, right? So it's not that hard in an age of technology. The Supreme Court might have told the ECI to digitize some voter lists for SIR, but they still keep sending us 7-foot stacks of paper when we ask for voter lists, and we have to manually digitize them, even though they have digital copies, right? तो आप हमें trust नहीं करते, आप खुद को तो trust करो. आप कर लो ये काम. We don't want to do it. Why should opposition parties do this? और कुछ काम नहीं है हमारे पास. पैसे खर्च करने के लिए और कोई चीजें नहीं है. So they need to digitize these voter rolls first, find duplicate entries, and most importantly, you know, when you go to vote, they check off your name on the electoral list in front of them, right? That's done across every single booth. The manual checking of those crossed out names is only possible by the ECI because they have those documents. We don't even have those documents. So now if I tell you कि Anish Gawande has been registered 10 times in this constituency, the only way of finding out if Anish Gawande has voted 10 times or not is by checking those physical rolls after an election. कि इस election में अनीश गवांदे ने कितने बार वोट डाला है. कभी कभी ऐसे भी हो सकता है कि अनीश गवांदे के 10 वोटर आईडी है, मैंने एक घुमा दिया, एक कैंसिल हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. 10 is still a very large number, but 2, 3, that's possible. That, you know, sometimes people have double Aadhaar also. You forgot to cancel the old one. The system, it's a country of 1.5 billion people, right? So I acknowledge there can be discrepancies in the voter roll. But the scale of these discrepancies is so large currently that it's making us lose faith in an institution we have to have faith in, right? I don't have an alternative. मैं क्या करूँ? I'm a political party. If I don't have faith in the EC, then I have to boycott elections.
हमारे देश में कहीं भी इलेक्शन होता है, बिहार में हुआ, बंगाल में हुआ, हर जगह हंगामा खड़ा हो जाता है. Do you think that, you know, one nation, one election is a possibility at all?
You know, we've been a part of the committee. Supriyata is a part of the committee on one nation, one election. I'm not entirely prejudiced to the idea.
Why so?
I think there is a way in which if you've been in politics now for even as little as I have, you'd realize that constant electioneering can disrupt governance. It can be very difficult to govern when you have constant elections. So in principle, it's not an idea that needs to be opposed outright. What's more concerning though is that it has the potential to kill democracy through bureaucracy.
Can you explain that?
आप अगर बोल रहे हो कि one nation one election होना चाहिए, suppose in 2029 we have one nation one election. Maharashtra goes for elections at the same time as India goes for elections. At the national level, you get a stable government. India Alliance comes to power, hopefully, and we have a coalition government that is in power, and that's continuing. In Maharashtra, you have a government that comes to power with the BJP getting 100 seats and its alliance partner getting 50 seats. So they just about crossed the 144 mark, right, for the Maharashtra Assembly. सरकार चलती है, 2 साल बाद सरकार गिराई जाती है. There's a hung house, nobody can agree with each other. what do I do in this situation? Do I wait 3 more years to call for fresh elections because I need one nation, one election? Do I call for fresh elections only for a period of 3 years and waste all of that money on an additional election only to have another election in 3 years? And what do I do when this happens in every part of the country? Because we know that we're heading towards a more fragmented political landscape than ever before. So the BJP has not realized that this will be something that will hurt them in the long run, क्योंकि क्या हो जाएगा, इंडिया अलायंस विल से कि हाँ तुम्हारी सरकार निकाल देंगे, 3 साल के लिए गवर्नर्स रूल लगा देंगे, 3 साल के लिए हमारी सत्ता यहाँ पे, हम सीधे गवर्नमेंट दिल्ली से चलाएंगे. The same way that they've been running J&K from Delhi for all this while, the same way they've been running the Delhi state government from the central government for all of this while, and they'll reduce the importance of your locally elected representatives, killing democracy through bureaucracy, right? So you have to see what the practical implications of this are. If it could be done in an effective manner, sure. But if you are even in a country like the US, where you have a bicameral legislature, where it's possible to have one nation, one election, क्योंकि एक जीतता है या दूसरा जीतता है, more than 50% is required to win. चलेगा, वहाँ पे कर लो आप. यहाँ पे महाराष्ट्र में 12 पार्टीज हैं, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज. कहाँ से करोगे आप one nation, one election? The coalitions formed will be very shaky. You don't know if this Maharashtra government is going to last its whole term.
तो coalition work भी कैसे करता है? Because what are the kind of setups that you have to foundationally lay कि भाई ये वाले positions पे हम लोग will be stronger people to verdict on it, या फिर
ये देखो, मनोज कुमार झा जी has written a great book recently on why coalitions are better for democracy. In coalitions, essentially, you have the center of power being more diffuse. Currently, we have 2 people sitting in Delhi deciding what we wear, who we date, what we eat, where we can travel, how we travel, what fuel we put into our car, all of these things. In a coalition government, necessarily, you have a wider sort of array of decision makers, right? You have to have a consensus on very important policies. You have to have debate and discussion not just with the opposition but within the government, which is very healthy because it encourages the best ideas to survive the test of time, and it allows for good ideas to be met with sort of forceful counters as well to strengthen them. So in a coalition government, you have obviously a numbers game that decides whether or not one party is more important than the other. But very often that numbers game is not only about आपके पास 10 है, मेरे पास 8 है. Sometimes मेरे 8 MPs are as important for the continuation of the government as your 40 MPs, right? So in some ways, in a coalition government, every alliance partner is also given equal respect, which also means that states are given more respect.
But I still feel quantity matters. Like,
Of course, I mean 40 versus 8 is always going to matter, but the 8 will also have a leverage that is very, very powerful. I mean, Ramvilas Paswan is known for being able to, and if I'm not wrong, he dropped Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government by crossing the road and meeting Sonia Ji. Right? So, it's a small party in Bihar did not have so many MPs. But that little shift made all the difference. Even now, this government is on a sticky wicket. The BJP said, अब की बार 400 पार, आए तो सिर्फ 240 हैं. If tomorrow Chandrababu Naidu decides to leave this government, if tomorrow the JDU decides to leave this government and Nitish Kumar says, I've had enough, the government will fall. So even when a party has 240 and their allies only have 20-20 each, the ability of those 20-20 to become a fulcrum upon which the central government rests is very high. So this is an exciting time for coalition governments, but also an exciting time to really rethink how we discuss, debate issues. आज क्या हो गया ना, Parliament has not functioned. If you see the recent session of Parliament, has been a washout.
Since you are the one who is a very well-read person, ऐसा क्या लगता है कि कौन nuances है which a lot of people do miss? Because I feel कि when policies are also made, it's looked from a very wide-eye, bird-eye sort of a perspective.
100%.
Nuances do get missed. And अगर आपको कुछ nation-wide level पर change करना है, so those things are bound to happen. But as somebody who reads a lot, what are things you catch on which you think are left behind in these times?
You know, someone I've admired for a very long time and someone who's become a very dear mentor is the Chennai South MP, Tamilachchi Thangapandian. and she is very fondly referred to me as Sumati Akka. And she's a poet herself. She writes in Tamil. She also writes fiction in Tamil. And I think the fundamental thing I've learned from her as a practitioner and a politician at that level is that it really teaches you how to care. That it teaches you how to have compassion for every single living being. And it teaches you a rootedness in empathy and emotion that is very necessary in politics, because it's very easy to lose it, right? You're being confronted with so many problems every single day that are unsolvable sometimes, that don't have an easy fix, where you know that things are going to be bad for many, many years before they get better. And in that, it's very easy to become numb to everything around you, to become desensitized. And poetry prevents you from being desensitized. You know, just this morning I was reading an incredibly powerful set of reflections published in response to a provocation given by Gauri Gill, who's an incredible photographer, about the 1984 riots, the anti-Sikh pogrom in Delhi, but also across the country. And it's got responses by so many incredible artists, by thinkers, by academics, by writers like Arundhati Roy. And you know, just reading that collection, and it's not a collection that tells you the history of what happened or the specific facts about what happened, but just about how people navigate their life after a tragedy that large, about what happens to the women who had to go to court for 22 years, about a group of widows in Delhi who had their family members burnt alive in front of them, right? Like, what is that pain? And that jolts you, right? It really sort of makes you realize that the work you're doing is important, and that the work you're doing cannot be treated as just another profession. And that's very important. Of course, it teaches you nuance, it teaches you ways of seeing things that are very important, and poetry allows you to sort of have shades of grey in between all the black and white you're taught to believe in, but it teaches you, more importantly, how to care. Because that you lose first in politics, because you're seeing that in front of you, right? I remember even now very vividly.
In your career and in general in your life, have you gone through extreme moments of low self-worth, self-esteem, borderline depression? Especially with regards to when you came out to the public? Was there
You know, coming out was of course difficult, because I think it was the crushing of a dream, right? Because I thought that after I came out, I wouldn't be able to join politics. And so that's where coming out had a more deep impact upon what I envisioned for myself. And I was very grateful to be at university when I came out. I had incredible sort of support systems around me. I went to therapy with a therapist who's still my therapist even today. And she was incredibly useful and important in ensuring that I could get the support I needed in a very tricky time. But in politics, you get used to the idea of uncertainty, right? I mean, 2018, I came back, I left the US, and my OPT and all of the sort of opportunities I could have had there, and decided to sign up for an election campaign that I thought we would actually win, because in 2018, before Pulwama, it did look like we could win that election and we could sort of change the government at the center. But by 2019, we lost. Yeah. And I was Sushikshit Berozgar. So I didn't know what to do. Thankfully, I applied to grad school and got into Oxford and got the Rhodes to go study there. But for 3 to 4 months, I mean, everyone around me was also like, "Acha, zindagi ke saath kya kar rahe ho? Matlab, ghar pe baithe hue ho." Because that's literally what was happening from May 2019 till November 2019, which is when I realized I'd gotten the Rhodes. Ghar pe to baith rahe the.
Beautiful.
Actually, हम politicians को as humans हम देख नहीं पाते, थोड़ा सी problem तो है.
तो अभी चलो hopefully आप देख पा रहे हो, अभी हम भी थोड़ी इंसान हैं.
What kind of humor you enjoy? Like, do you indulge in dark humor? Do you think that difficult?
No, I really like very, very dry British humor. Like very sort of sarcastic, cutting edge humor.
Intelligent jokes?
TV shows. Nahi, one of my favorite TV shows like Yes Minister and Yes
Oh,
Prime
okay.
Minister. Great TV shows. I used to love reading P.G. Woodhouse also as a kid. And then I like slapstick. मतलब सबसे बकवास humor. Like the most stupid jokes. Like Rocky or Rani is one of my favorite movies.
Oh my God.
That humor, Rocky Randhawa.
I loved it.
Is,
I loved it.
That is my.
I also
humor.
enjoyed it too.
I watched it in Jaipur in this massive Art Deco theater
Oh.
with like 1,000 people around us. और लोग सीटियाँ बजा रहे हैं, लोग शर्ट उतार के घुमा रहे हैं, like full धमाल. It's a massive family. It is 20 of us and we've all gone to the theater and we were watching Rocky or Rani. And it was the first week of its release and it was a great experience. And हम भी तालियां सीटियां बजा रहे हैं.
यार मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम होती है, हम बॉलीवुड में मूवीज देखने जाते हैं और हम उसमें इतना सेंस ढूंढने की कोशिश करते हैं.
मैं तो
ये
सेंस
मुझसे क्या
बिल्कुल
सीखना
सेंस नहीं
है?
अच्छा लगता. My favorite queer movie also in Bollywood is एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा. Because it is exactly like every other rom-com except the two women instead of man and woman. And it's Sonam Kapoor being herself. It's Anil Kapoor being himself. It's so predictable from the minute you watch it that you know how it's going to end, but you still watch it and it's got completely terrible plot line. It's got no sort of sensible like shifts in all of these scenes. Characters आ रहे जा रहे, धमाल हो रहा है, कोई नाच रहा है, कोई गा रहा है, कोई प्यार में पड़ रहा है, कोई प्यार से मतलब बिछड़ रहा है, full धमाल. And that's what it is, yeah. You don't have to leave your brain behind also sometimes. So that I love.
रिफ्रेशमेंट के लिए तो जाते हैं.
पर क्या होता है ना, कई बार ना मूवीज में ऐसे हो जाता है कि ऐसे बोल देते हैं दिस इज अ वुमेन सेंट्रिक मूवी, दिस इज अ क्वेयर सेंट्रिक मूवी, बट मूवीज आर लाइक फॉर एवरीवन. तुम जाओ देखो, बट इट
I'll tell you my problem is मैं इतना होशियार नहीं हूँ कि मुझे सिनेमा अच्छे से समझ आए. तो with some of these films I'm like I support it. I think they're very important. I think they should get national award instead of Kerala Files or Kerala Story getting the national award. But
अभी तो बहुत सारी फाइल्स आ रही है.
हाँ वो आने दो, सब फ्लॉप हो रही है. मैं बोलता हूँ आने दीजिए. By the time the 5th file comes out ना, लोग कैबिनेट ढूंढेंगे फाइल को डालने के लिए. So let him keep producing the movies he does. It's a free country. I only hope that he supports the right of everybody else to also make movies that they want to make instead of only wanting his movies to be in every theater.
But as somebody who is a part of a queer community, मुझे जानना है कि how inclusive is the world around you. मतलब जो छोटी छोटी चीजें होती है, it could be a restaurant, it could be shopping centers, it could be also dating apps. मतलब
You know, it's a very difficult sort of question, right? Because I think how inclusive the world around you is depends upon how privileged you are. As someone who comes with caste privilege, with class privilege, who is a cis man, who's gay, I have a lot more privilege than somebody who is a Dalit trans woman, who maybe does not come from a city, who maybe does not come with class privilege, right? And so the way a Dalit trans woman and the way she can navigate a city is very different from how I can navigate a city or even the political spaces I'm in. Forget even within the queer community. I often say this, that of course it's hard being a gay man in politics, but I'm a man in politics, right? It's still, in my opinion, much easier than being a woman in politics because there are no women. If you go and see most political spaces, of course, you have several amazing political leaders who are women. Supriyata has a lot of women around her in her team. But by and large, it's an old boys club.
absolutely.
So it's hard to navigate that space as a woman. I have like so much respect for young women who are making their mark in politics, right? Ikra Chaudhary from the Samajwadi Party, one of the youngest MPs. She's a great young woman. What an amazing, amazing member of parliament. And the fact that she's managed to win from a non-urban seat, being a young woman, and managed to carry herself with that level of grace and dignity is incredible. Rakhi Zadav, our city president in Mumbai. I mean, Rakhi Didi comes, you have to go to Ghatkopar to see how she organizes festivals. Nobody can dare mess with her. She's got a team for herself that's showing the path forward. She used to be a corporator in she won the last elections. I'm sure she'll win this election as well. But she's a badass leader, you know. You need badass women like that in politics.
What kind of differences actually are there when, you know, men, women, or anyone is there?
I mean, listen, yeah, if you're going on a yatra, if you're a woman, there are no bathrooms. So there are lots of
It's very
logistical.
realistic and
Yeah. So
on
one, there's like real challenges, right? That women in politics don't drink water. They are at a much higher risk of contracting UTIs because there are no washrooms. You cannot go anywhere, right? Like a man can. So you're structurally constrained in many ways. Two is that even now, unfortunately, men don't take you seriously if you talk as a woman. Regardless of whether you have the position, you don't have the position, you're at a position of power, you're not at a position of power. They will be sexist to you on your face. Across parties, not just in regressive parties or in the BJP, it's in the Congress also, in my party also, every single party.
It's a human tendency. Everywhere there's humans.
It's a tendency that we need to acknowledge and call out and work towards, which also doesn't happen.
The problem is that nobody realizes it. Like sometimes you're talked down upon even in corporate setups and you don't realize, you realize it way ahead in your life that, oh, that this was very sexist of you. This was very...
Maybe we make it as a joke only.
Absolutely. And then the general perception is, अच्छा, woman in politics, उसको मंत्री बनाएंगे तो soft ministry दे देंगे, उसको women in child development दे देंगे, या health दे देंगे, या textile दे देंगे, या primary education दे देंगे, men will get defense, men will get finance. BJP?
Finance minister.
Yeah.
Finance minister is a woman, right? The president is a woman. Although Pratibha Patil was the president before Murmu ji as well. So
We want a female PM now.
yeah, and I think we definitely need one, right? But more than that, I think the problem is even down the line, instead of the one position, you have a lot of stereotypes about soft and hard roles that affect men as well. One of the politicians I admire very deeply and I'm grateful to be mentored by in my own party is Anil Deshmukh ji, who used to be the Home Minister of Maharashtra, who was wrongfully incarcerated for 1 full year and who stepped down when he was arrested as Home Minister instead of continuing in his post, even though he could have, going back to this bill that will be brought in. They keep saying कि कोई resign नहीं करता, उनके मंत्री resign नहीं करते when corruption allegations are leveled against them or charges are leveled against them. People in the opposition who have moral fiber in their very being stepped down. He stepped down. He was found not guilty. He could have stayed as minister for 1 more year, but he said, no, I will go to jail if you think I'm guilty and I will fight this out in a court of law. And he started off his career as the culture minister of Maharashtra, which was considered a not important ministry, and rose up the ranks to become home minister. That is what you need in politics. Men who also don't shy away from taking on a culture ministry and aren't just feminist on paper, but say that I will not consider any responsibility beneath me, and then will empower other women within their setups, within their organization to rise.
एक तो ये भी सोच के, जैसे मैं स्मॉल टाउन से आती हूँ इन MP, तो वहाँ पर ये दिक्कत है कि हम लोग जिससे भी विमेन को इलेक्ट करते हैं, इट्स अ डी फैक्टो थिंग कि उसके हस्बैंड ही एक्चुअली...
ये पहले 10 साल के लिए होता है.
नहीं, बट होता है ऐसा.
पहले 10 साल के लिए. नहीं,
पहले
10 साल के लिए होता है. पहले 10 साल के लिए the man will control the woman. 10 years later, the woman will realize कि अगर मैं साइन नहीं करूंगी ना, तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला. वो पंचायत आपने सीरीज देखी होगी. That's exploring this. That rebellion is happening everywhere. Go to the ground and see. Women are taking charge. They're not listening to their phuppas and their kakas and their mamas and their dadas or their husbands. They have started taking decisions in their own hands. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. But eventually the woman also realizes that she is now in a position of power. इंदिरा गांधी को गूंगी गुड़िया बना के PM बनाया था ना?
बनाया था. Then the Congress split happened.
बस.
And then
she was like, बोलो और गूंगी गुड़िया. And in some ways you have to use that to your advantage. She was smart. She purposely played Gungi Gudiya. She was like, ha. Once she was prime minister, then अभी दिखाती हूँ ना कौन सी गूंगी गुड़िया हूँ मैं. तो वो भी आपको खेलना पड़ता है ना. Politics is about strategy. It's not about the world you want to live in. It's the world you live in right now. So you have to navigate it that way. You have to be like, आप मुझे हल्के से ले रहे हो, ले लो. हल्के से ले रहे हो तो मुझे पद भी दे दो. आपको लग रहा है कि मैं आपके दबाव के नीचे कुछ भी करूंगी तो दे दो मुझे पोजीशन, एक बार पोजीशन हाथ में आ गए फिर आप देख लो. सो दैट्स ऑल्सो राजनीति ना, उसको ही तो राजनीति कहते हैं. सोनिया गांधी को देख लो, उसको कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट बना दिया था. सोनिया गांधी जी इज वन ऑफ द पॉलिटिशियंस आई रिस्पेक्ट इमेंसली. The fact that she stood up for LGBT rights after the 377 verdict when nobody else dared to, as the head of a political party, shows her moral courage. The fact that she stood up for Gaza now, when it serves no political benefit, shows moral courage and conviction. The fact that she went up against Atal Bihari Vajpayee, a prime minister who was arguably far more popular than Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and defeated him in 2004. By doing like Kona Sabhas and like corner meetings across the country. As a woman born in Italy who made India her home, is incredible.
I think we as a nation did her bad.
We did do her very bad. We did do her very bad.
Irrespective of what your political inclining is, you cannot be making jokes like these. You cannot be belittling someone.
Absolutely.
वही है ना, हर चीज को we put in jokes and normalize the things and
देखो कहीं पर I think humor is a good way to introduce a subject also. I feel it leads you to talking about.
हाँ 100%. I'm not saying किसी के मजाक नहीं उड़ाना चाहिए. I'm saying कि one must also acknowledge and respect the work someone has done.
that is not there.
Or this has always been my stance also, that in politics you are ideological opponents, not enemies.
Very true.
I can still respect you. I can respect the Prime Minister. I can criticize him for being the worst Prime Minister this country has ever had. But I can still respect the work he's done.
You said a very beautiful line in one of the interviews. You said that you need to consider your opponent at least good enough to debate.
Yeah.
That is a problem, which is कि आप समझते ही नहीं हो कि वो हैं भी कुछ. तो फिर
That
तो
somewhere goes
कोई
missing.
भी टाइप की कॉन्वर्सेशन की बात ही नहीं रह जाती.
और वो आपका घमंड है अगर आप उनको नहीं कंसिडर कर रहे हो worthy enough to debate. Because you think of yourself as too worthy. So that needs to change. वो बदल रहा है, देश बदल रहा है, आगे
मत
बढ़
कर
रहा है.
अहंकार बिल्कुल.
But this is actually, we are talking about the level very high, the prime ministers, presidents. But if we go very down to the ground level and everything, so there's this amazing journalist P. Sainath. He has written this amazing book, and his collation of work. अगर थोड़े से words में sum up करूँ तो he says that schemes implemented at a place, for example, if in a village a scheme is implemented, that is being duplicated when the survey was done in this village, another village. Now, in 100 kilometers, the geography of India changes. And the मतलब जो improvement होना चाहिए था उसकी बजाय उसका repercussions face करने पड़ जाते हैं. How do politicians from ground, because you have worked on ground, see and survey places so that the thing reaches up? क्योंकि hierarchy बहुत लंबी है. We keep on blaming the Prime Minister, we keep on blaming the Chief Minister. Agreed, you should, definitely. But we need to even consider the hierarchy, and because the corruption goes everywhere.
So this is precisely why Rajiv Gandhi brought in the Panchayati Raj constitutional amendment, right? That the most empowered level of governance should be the one closest to the individual citizen, right? आप प्राइम मिनिस्टर को कब मिलने वाले हो? आप चीफ मिनिस्टर को कब मिलने वाले हो? आप शायद एमपी को कब मिलने वाले हो? एमएलए को कब मिलने वाले हो? आप किसको मिलने वाले हो? आपके सरपंच को तो आप हर रोज मिलने वाले हो गांव में. पंच को हर रोज मिलने वाले हो, आप उप सरपंच को मिलने वाले हो, पंचायती कमेटी में जो है उनको मिलने वाले हो आप हर रोज. उन पर आप दबाव ला सकते हो और आप उनको बोल भी सकते हो आपने काम नहीं किया है. सो द सरपंचेस एंड द पंचायती राज सिस्टम नीड्स टू बी एम्पावर्ड. Unfortunately, that's an unfinished process. The same was supposed to happen with urban local bodies. Complete failure. Today, a city like Mumbai is a disaster because we don't have a directly elected, directly accountable mayor, something that someone like Milind Deora has been pushing for since 2004. Today, we don't know who the mayor is. सबको जोरान ममदानी पता है. मुंबई का मेयर कौन नहीं पता, क्योंकि हम मेयर को चुनते नहीं है ना. हमें हमारे काउंसलर भी नहीं पता क्योंकि काउंसलर के हाथ में पावर नहीं है.
Whom to go to ये नहीं पता.
नहीं, you have to first empower the person who you can go to. See, a counselor is responsible for 30 to 40,000 people. You can know them directly. They're in a geographic zone that's confined. They're directly accountable to you. An MLA is responsible for almost 6 lakh people. And an MP is responsible for almost 40 lakh people. So you can't have a MP being accessible. You can rarely have an MLA being accessible, but you definitely can have a corporator being accessible. Right? So we have to focus on the corporator level. It takes 8,000 to 11,000 votes to make a corporator win. Which means for the corporator, every 1,000 vote का chunk is important. तो अगर 1000 लोग कहें कि हमें इस सड़क को फिक्स करना है, नहीं तो हम आपको वोट नहीं देंगे, वो काम हो जाएगा. पर उसके लिए आपको कॉर्पोरेटर को भी एम्पावर करना बहुत जरूरी है. So that is what is currently missing. And it's a chicken and egg situation. I think you have to first get empowered corporators, something I've been speaking out vociferously for. In the BMC elections, I don't care if you vote for the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister, vote for your corporator.
Yeah. We miss out on that. We many a times, only relate to center में क्या है, उस हिसाब से we.
आप अगर BMC इलेक्शन में वोट नहीं डालते हो तो फिर आपके पास कोई हक नहीं है कंप्लेन करने का कि पानी भर रहा है, बिजली कट रही है, बिजली के दाम महंगे हो गए. No. Vote for your corporator, hold him accountable, have his phone number, office number, ऑफिस लोकेशन, जाओ उसके सिर पे बैठो, बोलो कि ये काम क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, ये आपका काम है. और आज अगर आपको पता नहीं है किसके नीचे आता है, ChatGPT पे डाल दो. Who is responsible for fixing this road? What scheme is this road supposed to be fixed under? Write a letter to my corporator about this scheme. और उसके मुंह पे जाके थोप दो लेटर कि ये ले लो सर, ये इसके इस स्कीम के तहत, ये सब क्लॉज के तहत इतना पैसा एलोकेट हो गया, आपने क्यों नहीं डाला है? ये CCTV कैमरा नहीं चल रहा है, क्यों नहीं चल रहा है? If we are not going to hold the lowest rung of governance accountable, nothing will change.
हमारे सर पर ही है BMC elections.
I'm hoping हमारे सर पर है. I don't know. Hopefully by the time this
बातें तो
podcast
हो
is
गई.
edited, we'll at least have a date for the BMC elections. पर
It's been too long.
Too long.
भगवान के घर में देर है, अंधेर नहीं. We
मैं
have full
आपको
faith in the
बताती हूँ.
election commission.
I am telling you कि जब भी इलेक्शन के हम करीब पहुंचते हैं, कोई ना कोई नैरेटिव, द मुद्दा is getting prepared nearly.
बिल्कुल. और it has to be upon us to not get distracted.
महाराष्ट्र में मराठी लैंग्वेज, द मुद्दा which is being.
You know, the problem is कि it's not even a very controversial mudda. You know, the whole point is that the GR introduced. Everyone has forgotten now. Do Karyakartas go and slap people around? Of course they do. But you must remember that it is the other party that trashed the whole Habitat Center and started Gundagardi in the first place for Kunal Kamra. तो गुंडागर्दी तो ये करते आ रहे हैं. इनके MLAs कैंटीन वर्कर को पिटाते हैं. इनके MLAs और उनके सपोर्टर विधान भवन में एक दूसरों को पीटते हैं. इस देश में हर रोज कोई ना कोई किसी को पीटते रहता है. तो ये मराठी लैंग्वेज जब एक इमोशनल इशू बन जाता है तो ऑन द ग्राउंड लेवल ऑफ कोर्स इट हैज रिपरकशंस व्हिच हैव टू बी कंडेम्ड बाय एवरीबॉडी.
We have actually divided our freedom fighters कि नहीं ये इस पार्टी के लिए है, वो इस पार्टी के लिए.
उन्हें हमने पार्टी में चढ़ा दिया.
When the irony is that Subhash Chandra Bose, the person they claim to respect all this while, was a communist.
Yeah.
And a socialist. And he would have been turning, or he is probably turning in his grave round and round and round and round, seeing how they've been using him for communal propaganda. He's like, ये Azad Hind Fauj was not made for this.
But you are like a parent to 5 cats.
I am a parent
I
to 5
want to
cats.
know about this whole thing of stray dogs जो अभी चल रही है. इसका लॉजिकल सोल्यूशन क्या है? देखो शेल्टर होम्स आई नो इनफ नहीं है.
यार देखो इसका तीन लाइन में मैं जवाब देता हूँ. मुझे भी रास्ते पे कम कुत्ते चाहिए. अभी कम कुत्तों को रास्ते पे लाना, उसके लिए एक ही सोल्यूशन है, वैक्सीनेट, स्टेरिलाइज, रिलीज. ये कौन करता है? म्यूनिसिपल अथॉरिटी. दिल्ली में म्यूनिसिपल अथॉरिटी सो रही थी, इसीलिए क्राइसिस इतना बढ़ गया है. मुंबई में BMC अपना काम कर रही थी, इसीलिए our number of stray dogs is currently 1/3 to 1/4 of what Delhi has.
It's true.
हाँ, cats ज़्यादा हैं.
What is the reason for that? The fact that the BMC has been doing its job. Can it do its job better? 100%.
अभी एकदम से इतनों को थोड़ी कर सकते हैं साथ में.
नहीं कर सकते हैं. उसके लिए पॉलिटिकल विल चाहिए, उसके लिए पैसा चाहिए. वो आप एलोकेट नहीं कर रहे हो. BMC में भी We are going to push a motion now to say that more funding should be allocated and make it a public-private partnership. Let people who care also contribute. But at the end of the day, you have to do it, na? मैं मेरी गाड़ी लेके रास्ते के कुत्तों को नहीं उठा सकता ना रैंडमली. कोई फिर मुझे बोलेगा तुम्हारी परमिशन कहाँ आई यहाँ से. So at the end of the day, municipal body has to do it. The problem is sending every dog to a shelter is absurdly expensive. At a time when your municipality doesn't have enough money to fix libraries, to ensure that cultural institutions are not shut down, to ensure that your water supply is not clogged, to ensure that your roads are being built on time, how will they find money to put stray dogs into a shelter and feed them for the rest of their lives? And anyways, if you put them into a shelter, you're going to have to vaccinate and sterilize them, because otherwise they'll all spread disease. And they'll multiply, and you'll have a bigger problem in the shelters. So if you're vaccinating them when you pick them up, if you're sterilizing them when you pick them up, you might as well drop them back where they came from, because अगर आप उनको वहाँ से उठाओगे तो दूसरे कुत्ते वहाँ पहुँच जाएंगे जो नहीं है वैक्सीनेटेड, जो नहीं है स्टेरिलाइज्ड और जो ज़्यादा रेबीज फैलाएंगे और जो ज़्यादा काटेंगे. So the problem is this magic wand solution. Those who believe कि G20 के पोस्टर लगाने से स्लम्स छिप जाएंगे और पॉवर्टी खत्म हो जाएगी, वही सोचते हैं कि कुत्तों को शेल्टर में डालने से रेबीज खत्म हो जाएगा. भाई ये 1 मिनट में होने वाला नहीं है. I agree, it's a big challenge. Young kids are getting sort of mauled. People have 15, 16 stitches. But the reality is, the solution to this on the rabies front is having rabies vaccines in all government hospitals, because rabies can be spread by monkeys also, it can be spread by a wide variety of other things also, and it is something that can be spread by pets also, right? If they are not vaccinated, and a large number of people's pets in this country are not vaccinated. So you need to ensure that everyone vaccinates their pets, and you have to ensure that people also get access to a rabies shot if an animal does bite them, because that's important, right? That's how we eradicated polio. We have only 56 cases of rabies deaths per year in this country, or in the last year, according to the government's own data. So clearly we've done a fairly decent job. We need to do better to make that zero, sure. But that requires worst case scenario prevention also. On top of that, you have to acknowledge that reducing numbers in a humane way can only be done through vaccinate, sterilize, release, because otherwise other dogs from neighboring areas are going to come into the area where the dogs have left and take over their place, right? Dogs are fairly mobile.
Right.
So, assuming कि आप जादू की छड़ी लेके इसको खत्म करने वाले हो is a silly solution. Unfortunately, those who are advocating for the shelter solution are coming from an emotional place. They probably had a family member who's been bitten, probably they've been bitten, they have a negative experience. They can't go use parks, they can't sort of use these facilities, and I agree, right? It's still difficult now because when dogs form packs to walk on the roads. But unless you want to actually start culling dogs and killing them indiscriminately on the streets, it's not an overnight solution. अगर 10 साल के लिए आप सो रहे थे, तो आप एक दिन में उठकर सभी फिक्स नहीं कर सकते. इसको 5 साल लगेंगे, और अगर आपके पास वो पॉलिटिकल विल नहीं है, then you should resign.
But that also brings me to how much power a protest has. There were rampant protests everywhere about this. There was a protest in Bombay also, and Delhi, of course, there was a protest about this. Actually flipping the bills or anything, we have seen this in the dog protests.
You know, you've just seen the power of what happens when you protest on the phone as well. When I put out a tweet about the Mumbai metro not being open at 6:30, 7:30 in the morning, and by this afternoon you have Ashwini Bhideji saying that the metro will open at 6:30 a.m. So, you know, sometimes protests, whether it's on social media or whether it's like with the stray dogs case on the streets, has the power to make a very big difference. We've been taught that protest se kuch nahi hota, protest jaane ko koi fayda nahi hai. But listen, change happens when you stand up for what you believe in. And I think more young people are realizing this. Young people are taking to the streets unlike ever before. And they're taking to the streets for causes they believe in. And I'm very, very confident that this will be something that forces the system to act. You know, right now in Delhi, कभी लगा नहीं था मैं कुत्तों के लिए प्रोटेस्ट करने वाला था, पर even for a protest like that, the numbers that you saw on the street, thousands of people, all willing to say कि पुलिस की केस आने दो, कुछ भी आने दो, पर ये हमारा अधिकार है, was very heartening. You know, because over time we've criminalized protest. Protest करना है आज़ाद मैदान जाओ, protest करना है जंतर मंतर जाओ. क्यों? I still remember India Against Corruption movement. I was also doing protests in my street. In other parts, in Gateway of India, we had a candlelight march. During the Nirbhaya case, I remember we led protests even at that time against the Congress, not against the BJP. But after 2014, suddenly protests are illegal. We were at Lodhi Gardens when the police manhandled every person there, including me, in an incredibly indignified way. And if they can do that to me, as someone who's a politician representing a national political party, what can they do to ordinary citizens? You know, they did this at India Gate, they did this at the Hanuman Mandir, where people were protesting. तो कहीं नहीं जाना है protest करने के लिए. They tried to forcibly enter a Gurudwara in Delhi, the most holy one. You know, and so this is the level at which we've taken our societies down to. That protest has become something that the government will stifle, even when it's about dogs. ऐसे नहीं है ना कि वो मेरे पार्टी के या किसी और पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता है, वो रास्ते पे उतर गए हैं. These are young people who care. These are housewives who feed the dogs in their neighborhoods. These are young men who live in jhopadpattis and slums, who can't have a dog inside their own home, who are feeding the dogs outside, who are scared that their child is going to be taken away from them, coming to the streets. And this is what you do, lathi charge. Beat them black and blue. Yesterday somebody's forehead was cracked open. Another protest. So, you know, this is the kind of violence that we have to stand up against. And this is a culture that says कि सरकार ने कहा है तो सुन लो.
पत्थर की लकीर बना देते हैं. But it is very important to understand also that right to protest only makes your democracy more strong.
Absolutely. And it's a constitutional right. It's not a right given by a government. It's a right that we have given unto ourselves, just like we have given the constitution unto ourselves. किसी के बाप की जायदाद नहीं है या जागीर नहीं है constitution. So when people say we'll change the constitution, we'll do this, we'll do that, they don't have neither the ability nor the right to do that. Because the constitution is a document that we have given as a country unto ourselves. And a government that, of course, has a majority in parliament with its alliance partners cannot presume that it speaks for every single Indian. They must remember that today the leader of opposition represents 42% of all Indians. They represent 44%, sure. But this side represents 42%. More than 60% exists that doesn't support the BJP. So you have to consider these voices. Of course, you have the right to be in power. You've gotten the seats you've gotten. But that doesn't make you immune to listening. And that doesn't absolve you from the responsibility of listening. 30% लोगों ने आपको चुना होगा, पर बाकी 70% लोगों के भी आप प्रतिनिधि हो, उनकी आवाज़ भी आपको सुननी है. Regardless of whether you agree with them or not, you can't shut off entire sections of the population. And this is the arrogance and this is the ghamand that is going to bring them down, because people will see through this. That yesterday it was CA NRC protest pe bandi. After that it was any protests on economic issues, us pe bandi. Now it's on stray dogs. If you disagree with anything, they will stop you. And it's being taken away in a very serious way, right? So I think we all have to stand up in one voice against it. Because it's unhealthy for our democracy, not just for a political party. कल हमारी सरकार आएंगी, हम भी ऐसे करने लगेंगे जब तक लोग नहीं दिखाते कि you can't do this. Because power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Because I think it's more to do with आप पे UAPA लग जाएगा, sedition लग जाएगा. You're not anti-national, you're just anti-government, and you have right to be anti-government.
Absolutely. सत्ता और देश में बहुत
फर्क है.
अंतर है, फर्क है. We hope better sense will prevail upon this government.
Okay, Anish, so as we're heading to the end of the conversation, we make sure that we ask our guest to review or to have their opinion on something which is very absurd or a very different comment in their industry, made in their industry.
अच्छा.
हाँ, तो recent conversation में Swara Bhaskar said that all of us are actually born bisexual. But it's just that we are in this social conditioning to act straight, to think straight. तो वो वही अपना फर्स्ट इंस्टिंक्ट बन जाता है, सेकंड नेचर बन जाता है. व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ दिस?
तो you have to see Swara and my DMs about this because मैं तो बहुत हंसने लगा था. मैंने कहा
enticing.
मोहतरमा आपने तो बवाल मचा दिया है. And I was laughing very hard because I'm like देश की जनता इतनी बेरोजगार है कि उनको इसे भी हेडलाइन बनाना है.
हाँ, बन तो चुका था वो.
That is her opinion.
But we were also discussing this.
True.
Because it's something that would throw you off.
See, I'll tell you now, the Kinsey scale was put in place by a very renowned psychologist who said that sexuality operates on a spectrum.
Okay.
So you are somewhere on the spectrum. So nobody is 100% straight or 100% gay. So somebody is always in between. तो 10% bisexual है, 5% bisexual है, 1% bisexual है. That is human nature. So इसमें गलत क्या है? और उसने कहा मेरी गर्ल क्रश है, उस पे भी मतलब सभी टूट पड़े कि oh my god.
They were pitying her husband who was
Poor guy who was a very dear friend of mine, who's part of my party, who lost in the Anushakti Nagar election and who's put up a spotted right. But that's a feminist, you know. I think Fahad is a feminist because he does not care about all of these allegations leveled against him. And he says that, you know what, she has a right to her opinion. And she is got a mind of her own and she's not afraid to express it. और वही लोग पसंद नहीं आता लोगों को कि वो डरती नहीं है. डर के आगे जीत है.
Yes. Amazing. Thank you so much, Anish. This was
Thank you very, very much. What a fabulous podcast and what an exciting conversation. Thank you so much.